Good evening, everybody. I'm creating a special members edition video, and usually I don't create video in the evening, but this was requested, so almost 9:30 p.m. Eastern. But looks like things are very volatile, so it's a good time to create a video, and I can give you my perspective how things are. So let's see how and where we close. So you can see we closed Nasdaq futures. This is MNQ live futures running 24/7, Monday to Friday. And you can see what's happening here right now. We are getting a 7 counts buy signal, and I can move it to other futures. Like you can see US 500. This is S&P 500 futures, 7 counts buy signal. Nasdaq US 500, US 100, 7 counts buy signal. This is Russell 2000, 7 counts buy signal, and then Dow Jones. Dow Jones is the only one which is not giving, but all three major indices are giving us 7 counts buy signal. So I'm going to show you a few other indicators, and then we're going to talk about support and resistances. Okay, so let's go and let's start with VWAP. And this is Nasdaq VWAP 4-hour chart, and this is a quarterly VWAP, volume weighted average price chart. And usually the way to read this chart is, let me focus here. This is the neutral line in the middle. So this is the neutral line, and this acts like a magnet, and price will always go and attract this middle line. You can see here this was about Friday 17th of October. We pumped higher and then it came back on this middle white dotted line. This is a magnet, and then in October 23rd to this we went way above, and the higher the bands, the better the short. So you can see we went here end of October, and then it came back again as a magnet to middle line, and now same thing is happening here. Right now we are at the extreme zone here, and prices is gonna probably get back and attract this middle channel, which is around 25,135. So this volume weighted average price is telling me where we are right now. We are probably gonna go here, at least 4% pump. So let me go and add MNQ here. This is MNQ. All right, so MNQ is little different than US 100. So this is MNQ levels, and I'm looking for at least 25,213 back to this magnet chart. So this is a best zone to buy is below these two bands, and best zone to sell is above these two bands. Okay, so this is where we are, extremely oversold, and if you're not gonna buy now, then I don't know when you're gonna buy. So um, I don't know where the bottom is. We can go lower, but the risk reward is better in favor of going long than to short here. And when they pump, you won't be able to even grab opportunity to buy. So I don't want to miss this. That's why I only bought, shared with my subscribers when I bought, what time I bought. I bought QQQ towards the end of the day, and I shared the level and what price I'm buying. So they all were aware, and now I'm holding QQQ. So we will see. So I'm expecting a pump. So VWAP chart is telling me Nasdaq is in a perfect buy zone here, and we are expecting a pullback to this 25,213. So this is one indicator. Second indicator is linear regression. This is linear regression chart of MNQ, Nasdaq 1-hour linear regression chart. Let me zoom in here. And what do you see here? Well, you see here there are two zones. Okay, so the best zone to buy is below this white line, and best zone to sell is above this white line. So this is again same concept like VWAP, and we usually go back in the middle line, which is a neutral line, and that neutral line is about 25,538 on this linear regression chart. The point I want to make it is we are way below. Actually, we well went below this red line. So this seems like a very algo driven move, and just to probably take stack at stop hunts. A lot of longs they want to liquidate. So it looks like as we were going higher, people were expecting we were going to go hit a new all-time high, and people had stops, so they liquidated all stops. But this gave us a great opportunity to buy. We're in this zone here where we should be looking to buy. So I'm expecting, to be honest, from here where we are right now, at minimum, go back and enter this zone and go to this neutral line. So this chart is telling me we could go as high as 6%. previous chart was telling us 4.9%. This chart is telling us we can go to as high as 6%. So again, we are in a nice pie zone on linear regression chart, and I will be looking to sell at least around 25. Maybe we'll see, but I think we still have possibility to reach 25K. This chart is saying 25,500. So this is a second chart, and then obviously the day trading chart, you can see a perfect sell from this morning around 10:40 a.m. And I released the morning video and we were here. I was telling everybody, you don't want to go long here, and there's a possibility we go back to the green line, and look what happened. So again, so this chart is telling us we could rally to back to about 25,000 in this sell zone. So at minimum, I think I will probably take my longs out, and at minimum, I'm expecting around 4% rally here. You can see 4% rally. So if tomorrow we get a rally and we are here, I'll be looking to exit, and we'll wait and watch. We'll wait again patiently to come back here. This is only for day trading. This is telling me that. And then the final daily chart on Nasdaq. Here we are. So this is futures running live 24/7. And let me quickly go to SPX first. Okay. And you can see what happened here. We closed right around 65.37. There was a gap, and I was telling everybody there is a gap. It's still not filled. So this is where this gap came from. This one here, on this day exactly, 10th of September, there was a gap up here. And let me show you, let me draw this and show you what happened. So you can see if we can draw it by green line and go back to where we are right now. It took us from September 10th, this gap, it took us September to all the way back to today, last hour candle. You can see last hour candle, it took us to fill this gap. So how long it takes? September, October, November, 3 months to fill this gap, and eventually it's filled. And that's when I put a note in my Discord, private Discord group, and you are all part of that, that this is filled, and that's one major achievement. And the second thing is we are down from top to bottom on S&P 500. We are down here around 5.6%, which is a very healthy move. And third thing is we are sitting right on this 20 moving average. All right, you can see in a bull market on a weekly chart, we always touch this 20 moving average and then move. Every time we touch 20 moving average and move. This is bull market. You can see every time we touch 20 simple moving average, we bounce and bounce. So in my opinion, this was a perfect opportunity to buy. And I know there's a risk of going lower, but you have to buy at some point. You know, when are you going to buy? If you're not going to buy now, you're going to just keep waiting and be scared to buy. That's not how trading works. You have to take into account best probability of buying the stock. Now, one thing to note, where we are right now, there's huge support here. You can see if I draw a box like that, or even if I delete this box, let's just draw a horizontal line. What do you see here? You see this whole move here. Um, if I make this a white line, and let's say 3 points, white line here, what do you see? Oops, sorry. You see we're sitting on a nice support here. We had a support here, around here. This was a resistance here, and then we broke out, tested this as a support 17th September, fun times, again came back near 23rd September, again massive sell-off in October, 10th October, again we tested this on 14th, and now we are back at it again. So this is a very strong support in my opinion, and we are sitting there. So and then we also fill that gap which I showed you. So we could, to be honest, I'm not saying this is the bottom. We could go lower if they really want to, but again, risk reward. You have to be brave sometimes to take this decision, and that's where we are right now. And one other thing I wanted to show you on Nasdaq. If I go to 1 hour chart, what do you see on 1 hour chart? You see a divergence. So you see here what's going on. RSI, even after this dump, RSI did not go lower. So let me find the right tool. You can see arrow, RSI. What do you see here? You can see this divergence on RSI. PPO is showing no divergence, but RSI, one of the momentum indicator, is showing me divergence. Very, very oversold, red lines everywhere. And also we're getting a buy signal on 1 hour candle. So again, a lot of indicators are telling me that we are probably going to get a bounce. And if I go to weekly chart on S&P 500, you can see we're starting to get a bounce on futures on S&P 500. Similar thing on Nasdaq as well. If I go to daily chart on Nasdaq, let's see that as well. You can see same story on Nasdaq. Weekly chart is sitting right on this 20 moving average. All right, and the daily is very close to support. Now Nasdaq is little bit tricky because we are below this support line here, but we are near this other support, and one of the major support is here. So we could go a little lower on Nasdaq, to be honest. S&P 500 is showing we're sitting on support, but Nasdaq is showing we could go a little lower and then get a bounce. Like you can see, there's a gap around 23,859, 23,638. There is possibility we go a little lower, 0.71 to maybe 1.6 worst case, and then we can go bounce. So, but again, S&P 500 is on support. I don't know if they're gonna, if S&P finds buyers, this is gonna bounce as well. So we could have probably seen a low today as well. One other thing, gaps. All right, 1 hour chart, you can see gap here, gap here. So, and most of the other gaps are filled. All right, so if they really want to push, they can really go from here to fill. The first gap is around 6% away, second gap is around almost 8% away. So who knows, they could even rally from here into the end of the year, and we could be back to around 26,000 to fill this gap fully. That's quite possible. Now I do think there's a lot of risk next year, and many of these gaps could get filled, but seasonality is telling me there's going to be a rally coming. And usually end of the year, we always get this rally, Christmas rally, you can call it Santa Claus rally, Thanksgiving rally, I don't know, whatever you're going to call. But next week, at least until Thanksgiving, towards the end of the month, I am expecting a huge rally, and this uh, whole engulfing candle can be removed. So I don't want to be too bearish. I want to be buying. You can go ahead and buy your favorite stocks. And I released a video, sorry, not a video, I posted on my Discord channel. Most of the stocks are sitting on support, right? For example, Tesla, you can see here, it's sitting on support here. Sorry, give me a second.